this is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and today we're going to look at the Impression i10a Android tablet. This is a 9.7-inch Android ice cream sandwich tablet with an IPS display and a 1 GHz NVIDIA Tegra 2 dual-core CPU. As you can see, it's a little thicker than usual, but not too bad looking, really. And it's priced at $299. We're going to look at it now. The Impression i10a tablet certainly isn't a household name. It's made by Leader International, and that's a company located in Pasadena. Undoubtedly, it's manufactured in China. And we don't usually cover a whole lot of no-name tablets, no offense to Leader, but this is not a household word, and you probably haven't heard of it. And the reason we don't usually cover them because they're often really terrible. They have low specs, they have resistive, grainy displays, things like that. And this one actually looked pretty good on paper. It lists for $299, I should say. Sears and Kmart so far have been carrying this brand, and they often discount, say, $20 off, so you might find it cheaper. But it has nice touches, like a 9.7-inch IPS display, much like the Lenovo S2 Android tablet we just reviewed. An NVIDIA 1 GHz dual-core CPU. Now, that's the same CPU that was used on last year's Android tablet. Certainly is not cutting edge, so that's one of the reasons why this guy costs a bit less, but it's very capable, and like I said, many of the Android tablets out there are running this. It's not one of those single-core CPUs that you see on some budget Android tablets, which really should be avoided at this point. And best of all, it's running Android OS 4.03 Ice Cream Sandwich, so you get a pretty current OS here on this device. So how does it hold up compared to the big boys? We're going to check it out now. You can see it's not a bad looking tablet, reasonable size bezel, not too huge. It actually gives you a place to hold on to it. And we have portrait orientation buttons masked on over here. It might seem a little strange, but this is 1024 by 768 resolution, just like the Lenovo IdeaPad S2109 again and the iPad. And because of that, they figure you might want to use it in portrait orientation because that's well suited for reading ebooks and also for reading PDFs. We've got a front camera located here, 2-megapixel camera. The rear is also 2-megapixel. Neither of them take particularly good photos or video, but it is there if you want to do some video chatting. If we take a look around the device, see along this edge here we have a microphone hole and nothing else. Here we have the sync and charge port, and it comes with a USB cable, so you don't have to worry about matching that guy up to anything. Micro SD card slot right there. You've got your reset hole. Here we have our volume controls, well separated so you don't have to wonder which is which. Power button is right here, and this is an LED that glows blue when you're charging it, so you know you're charging it. And here is our headphone jack in this sculpted prominence, shall we say. Now we take a look at the back. It's aluminum. Not unstylish, not super stylish. It's not too bad looking, certainly for the price range. Big stereo speaker grills there. Here's your 2-megapixel camera slightly off center. And not super duper skinny. Weighs 1.5 pounds. Now we're comparing it to the Lenovo S2109. That's Lenovo's second generation 9.7-inch Android tablet. Again, same resolution. You can see it is thinner. It's also several ounces lighter. And from their front profiles, you can see not too different. Lenovo certainly has a little bit more style, more rounded corners, more beveling, the kind of things that say I'm a somewhat more expensive device, and the front footprint is just a little bit smaller. Lenovo sells for $399, so it's going to cost you $100 more. Comes in a fairly large box, which you can see right here, so this is what the package looks like if you buy it. And you get the tablet, you get the charger, you get the USB cable, and you get a kind of nice flip case that we'll show you now. So here's the flip case that it comes with. Fake leather. Feels kind of nice though, sort of a soft touch finish. Tablet slides into this area. It's got little cutouts for the camera and for the speaker grills. Portfolio stand style thing. And the tablet slips in from the end over here. So not a bad value added. You don't have to run out and buy a case, and this one is a custom fit, and it's pretty well made. So certainly the best thing about the tablet is the IPS display. As you can see, it's colorful, it's sharp, it's nice for reading books, and very wide viewing angles because it's IPS. So you have pretty much 178-degree viewing angles side to side on that. In terms of applications, when you first boot up the tablet, you don't see very much. They have Adobe Flash Player preloaded on that, which is good because guess what? There's no Google Market on here. This is not one of the official Google sanctioned devices, so no Google Play Store on the device. Happily, Amazon makes life a little bit easier. You can put the Amazon App Store in here, and they have a pretty good selection of apps, but not everything's available. For example, we want to do quadrant benchmarking on this, and that's not available on the Amazon App Store. That makes this a little bit better for those of you who are more geekily inclined and you're good at side-loading APKs, that is applications, that kind of thing, just in case you're not finding what you need on Amazon. They do have GetJar preloaded, but GetJar does not have the world's most awesome selection of applications. Now, as we take a look at the applications that are included, several of these are ones that I've downloaded. You get the standard Android web browser, you get Calendar, but no contacts. Isn't that strange? We have the YouTube player on board, the email application, but you don't get Gmail here. There's going to be a camera application, no kidding. Since it has a camera, they include a sound recorder as well. And there's a touch calibration. And it seems strange to have a touch calibration, which is actually a hands-off affair. You run it and it calibrates itself. But the touchscreen became fairly insensitive after we got a firmware update over the air, and running that actually fixed the problem up. They also include a video player of their own and a MSN Messenger client. And the rest of the stuff here I've loaded, except for the APK installer they preload, which is for installing applications that you might have in APK format, and a basic file manager right here. There is no Office Suite preloaded, but you can buy one from the Amazon App Store or source one from your favorite place to get apps that's not the Google Play Store. And in terms of widgets and stuff on the desktop, well, it comes pretty much naked, very clean. And here are the widgets that you have, pretty much basic stuff. But we also have Kobo pre-installed, by the way, for reading EPUB ebooks. So you've got your analog clock, and then the rest of these are pretty much just standard Android widgets. And that's that. And I've installed the weather channel, so that's why those weather widgets are showing up. In terms of performance, on i10a benchmark, which is available on the Amazon App Store, it scored 4200, which is pretty good for a NVIDIA Tegra 2 CPU. We couldn't run Quadrant, as I mentioned on it, and for a GL benchmark, we got 30 FIPS, which is about standard for this. Now, because it's a Tegra 2, don't expect much from 1080p video playback. That just didn't really have the hardware acceleration for that, but it can do 720p video, and we'll check that out. We do have the built-in Google Gallery application. So we're going to launch Gallery now. You can see our content here. And first we're going to look at some photos so you can see how the screen looks. Now the screen has a little issue with the touch sensitivity there. As you can see, it seems to not like having anything against its back like a stand, which is sometimes happens with tablets, but that's something to look out for with this tablet, at least with the one that we have. So it's responsive and quick enough. It looks very pretty. It is a pretty screen. Pinch zooming is very fast and fluid. Now I'll check out some videos. This is a 1080p video, which it refuses to play because, well, it doesn't support it. So we're going to check out our 720p Serenity clip. And you can hear the speakers as well while it's going. Pretty close to max volume, not bad. Speakers. It is dropping frames, which isn't really something we expect to see with 720p video. That's a little strange. Now we'll try with the included video player to see if things improve. So we're trying to select our moving folder here and saying OK, but it's not finding anything. If we tell it to refresh, this is kind of funny actually. Searching. No. What does that mean? You tell me, I don't know. So I figure I'd get a little clever and use the built-in file manager, and maybe I can choose what it opens with. So I'm going to choose that same clip, and if I press and hold, you can see you have a lot of options here, which is kind of neat. So I'm going to go open with, and I got this for the selections here: text, picture, video, music, APK. A little mysterious. I'm guessing video since I want the video player, so I'm going to go with that. But it's still launching Gallery. Given the 4:3 aspect ratio of the display and the fact that it's IPS, nice and crisp for reading, we're going to check out Kobo Books, which is bundled on the device. And we've got our Jane Austen novel open here, facing pages, obviously. Page turn speeds are just fine. Nice and sharp looking. The font size is a bit large right now, but hey, you can always adjust that. And let's check it out in portrait orientation, which is probably how most of us would like to read this. and nice and easy on the eyes. And we'll go to a smaller font size. There we go. Probably more like what most people would be using, and still very clear. Nice display, definitely for reading. And we'll use our file manager to pick out a PDF. And we have Adobe Reader loaded. That is available on the Amazon App Store. Looks nice and sharp and clear. Even the tiny text, well, it may be tiny, but it's quite readable. Of course, you can zoom. Takes a little second there for it to redraw those fonts, but looking pretty good. So it works out well. We'd like to see the screen redraw a little bit more quickly, but it's not too bad. In terms of software and settings, you can see we have fairly standard looking Google menu here. You've got airplane mode access, your Wi-Fi. This is single band Wi-Fi 802.11 BGN. It also has Bluetooth. Does not have a built-in GPS. Can use Wi-Fi triangulation for location. And you can see you can control your screen rotation and use their balanced power setting if you want to try to save some power. Get to your screen brightness and so on. And then all settings. And we're looking at pretty much a vanilla Google installation here. Speaking of location services, Google Maps is not preloaded on this. You can download the navigation application of your choice, but I don't think that they intend this to be a standalone navigation device. Leader International does not specify the battery capacity as a lithium-ion polymer battery that is sealed inside, but they do say you can get up to 6 hours of runtime, which is not incredibly long compared to today's 10-inch tablets. So that's the Leader International Impression i10a tablet. It should appear in Sears and Kmart stores and online shortly. So that's what you get if you go for a lesser named tablet, one you might not have heard of before. Some of them, like this guy right here, have some pretty good specs. IPS display, 1024 by 768 resolution, a decent Tegra 2 CPU. It has 4 gigs of internal storage, but there's a micro SD card slot so you can expand on that. And a gig of DDR2 RAM. They say it has USB host, but given the proprietary connector here, unless they make an adapter that can make use of it, I don't know how you would actually connect a USB peripheral directly to this. I'm Lisa from Mobile Tech Review. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.